Hey people, Superman is returning to the movies once again. After Superman Returns performed low expectations at the box office, it was unclear when we'd see Superman in the movies again and what exactly we'd see when he came back. Some people wanted to see a sequel to Superman Returns, while others demanded a reboot. Things stayed in pretty much a confused state for a while until Warner Brothers announced that they were going to bring in Christopher Nolan to help with the production of the movie. Recently it was announced that Zack Snyder will be directing the new Superman movie and that it will not be a sequel to Superman Returns or connected to anything previous, but a reboot. So, how exactly should this movie be done? What story should it tell? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you BIGBMH's take on Superman. A lot of people feel pretty strongly about their ideas about how this movie should be done. Of course, this whole series is just my opinion, but I think I've got a good sense of what ideas and directions are the wrong way to go about doing this. So before I go into how I think the movie should be, I'm going to spend a decent amount of time talking about what not to do with this movie and why I think certain directions are wrong. I'm going to tell you now that this is my longest video series ever, so I'm really not cutting corners, and I put a lot of time thinking about why certain things are wrong and what you can possibly learn from why they are wrong. It's already been confirmed that Zack Snyder's Superman movie will not be a sequel to Superman Returns. But in talking about kind of the mistakes that Superman Returns made, I hope to kind of show what they should avoid doing and learn from in making this movie. For a while, I was one of the biggest supporters of making a sequel to Superman Returns. I actually enjoyed it for what it was, and thought it was a lot better than most people gave it credit for. I was really curious to see what Bryan Singer had in mind for the continuation of the story, and I also wanted to see Brandon Routh get a chance to prove himself, because I don't think he was given that much to work with in Superman Returns. However, I've decided that a sequel to Superman Returns could never be the Superman movie that we all have been waiting for certain key mistakes that the movie made. Okay, first off, giving Superman a kid was a bad idea. Giving Superman a kid who believed his father was Perry White's nephew Richard was a worse idea. There really just wasn't any good way to resolve this situation. You could maybe kill off Richard, have him go bad or something, or have Lois leave him, but there wasn't any way I could see that you could end this and say, hey, this was great. You did a good thing by bringing in this character. It really made things better and more interesting. Anyway, you eventually have to explain to Jason that his father is Superman and not Richard, which would be great if this was an episode of The Maury Show, but not for a Superman movie. I don't want to sound like I'm looking down on any types of families, but the concept of Superman and Lois having a child out of wedlock just doesn't seem right for the character. I think part of the reason that a lot of us fans are opposed to the concept of Jason is that as fans we grow accustomed to a certain status quo for characters like Superman. Superman's supporting cast has been the same for most of his long existence. Making little changes like bringing in Richard are okay, but throwing a kid in there dramatically changes things. And when we go to see a movie based on a character like Superman, we don't want to see a world that's dramatically different from the world we envision Superman living in. Another major problem with Superman Returns was the decision to make the movie a loose continuation of the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman movies. While those movies were great for the time, and I fully agree with any director's decision to look to them for inspiration, you have to move forward. Bryan Singer didn't really bring anything that creative or new to the Superman world because he basically made a modern-day Richard Donner Superman movie. Think of it this way. If Richard Donner did what Bryan Singer did, Superman the movie would have been a movie version of the George Reeves Superman TV show. This actually put Brandon Routh at a disadvantage. In the past, every version of Superman has been pretty distinctive. For example, Dean Cain's Superman was completely different from Christopher Reeve's Superman. Brandon Routh really wasn't creating his own version of Superman because he was pretty much doing his version of Christopher Reeve's Superman. While it wasn't exactly a copy of it, I think he would have stood a better chance of making a lasting impression if he was able to do a version that was very different and unique. I've always thought that Superman Returns was a better Superman 3 than Superman 3 was. However, it doesn't make sense to reintroduce a character to moviegoers by making a continuation of a 26-year-old movie series that general audiences aren't familiar with. People are familiar with the Christopher Reeve movies to an extent, but for the most part, the young people of today have never watched those movies. So most people who went to see Superman Returns didn't get the references to the older movies. I'm not saying that little Easter eggs aren't cool for us hardcore fans of the movies, but you have to make it so that someone who doesn't have any background information can walk into the movie and enjoy it. It's important to strike a balance between what's rewarding for long-term fans and easily accessible to just about anyone. The last major issue that Superman Returns created was its interpretation of Lex Luthor. I actually really enjoyed Kevin Spacey's portrayal of Lex Luthor, but the idea of Lex being an elusive, high-profile criminal is just outdated. It worked for Gene Hackman, but in the years since his portrayal, the character has evolved. He's much more powerful as a rich businessman with unlimited resources. He can still do everything the old Lex would do, but now he's much more dangerous because he can cover everything up. Superman Returns pretty much used the same crappy land plot as the first Superman movie. Lex boasts in one of the trailers, "I'll have advanced alien technology thousands of years beyond what anyone could throw at me." When I saw this in the trailer, I was thinking that he had some kind of sweet, powerful Kryptonian weapon. He had a rock that grew really big. Lex's big plan was to grow this rock, destroy most of North America, and then sell the land. What exactly was there from stopping anyone from swooping in, bombing his landmass, and killing him? Nothing really. It was really one of the worst conceived villain plots I've ever seen in a movie. Ignoring the stupidity of this first plan, the problem created by this Lex is that he lacks the potential to grow into a greater threat. In the comics, Lex Luthor has become the president before. This Lex really doesn't have that potential in the movies. So, I guess the big lesson to take away from the second two mistakes is to respect the past, but move forward. Okay, that concludes part one. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe because I've got a lot more to come on this. In my next video, I'll be talking about why I think it's a bad idea to try to adapt the Death of Superman storyline. So please tune into that.